All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, September 5th. We've got a 9-game MLB slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, all of my final plays, if you do want to fade me, all of those plays are going to be in the pinned comment. In terms of last night, a nice little 3-0. Sweet! Let's get it. We had the Cubs first 5 run line. We had the Mariners on the money line, and then we had the Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 again. It was a super juiced play, but you know what? We'll take the sweep there. A 3-0 sweep. Gotta love it. Unfortunately, and it is unfortunate because Patrick was going on 2 days here. Our ride of the day does not come through. Got to drop the womp womp there. The Milwaukee money line does not come through for us. They took it to extras. They were down 2-0, battled back late in the game, go to extras, and lose 3-2. So unfortunately, the ride of the day does not come through. That being said, we definitely can't be mad because Patrick gave us a banger of a same-game parlay 2 days ago. So shout out to Patrick for the ride of the day. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, it is simple. All you have to do is use that hashtag ride of the day or ROTD in the comments. Give me your favorite play of the day. Then I jump on board with one person's pick. Give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you win, we continue to ride with your plays until you lose. If you do lose, you got to face the womp womp like we had to do today. So get those hashtag ride of the days in the comments. Before we do get into these games, guys, we have tons of NFL content out on the channel, so make sure to go and check that out. I have my Thursday night football picks. We have H to H, the show that I do with Tassos. We have the Friday Brazil game picks. We got tons of NFL content out on the channel, so make sure to check that out as well. But what do you say we buckle up and get ready for this MLB slate here? Coming off of a sweep, we got a small game, not going to force anything, and we're not forgetting about MLB just because NFL's on, right? We're still going to try and crush, but let's jump into it, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's rock. We got Cincinnati taking on Houston. This game went according to my plan yesterday, right? I like Cincinnati for plus money. I thought it was an over type game. Cincinnati wins that one 12-5. Today we have Hunter Brown on the mound for the Astros going up against Rhett Lauder. I don't know too much about Rhett Lauder, to be honest. I'm not going to act like I do. I believe he has only had one start this season, if that's even true. I think it is just one start, a young kid. I don't think the Astros go out here and get beat 3 times in a row by Cincy. In fact, they've lost the last 8 games against Cincinnati, so I think that at some point this Astros team's bounced back. Now, I don't know if minus 150, minus 155 is the price range that I'm looking at, but to me, this offense is too good to be kind of suppressed for a couple games in a row here to make it a third. So I'm going to lean towards Houston here on the money line. In terms of a total, I'll stick to what has been sort of my mindset in this one. Now, I know the under, I believe, cashed in game number 1, but I still expect a decent amount of runs being scored, and I don't think that Hunter Brown's going to absolutely shut down this Cincy team. So I'm going to lean towards the over 9 in this spot as well, but I'm much more likely to pull the trigger on Houston money line. It just depends on if I can kind of swallow the minus 150 and beyond odds. Those are some juice lines there for a team that has lost 8 straight against a Cincy team. All right, next game up, we have Tampa Bay taking on the Minnesota Twins here. Pablo Lopez on the bump for Minnesota. Taj Bradley at home here on the mound for Tampa Bay, and it's very important to illustrate when Taj Bradley's pitching. If it's at home, great. If it's on the road, not so great, right? I still, as crazy as it is to keep saying as this Twins team kind of loses and loses, I still don't know if I fully trust Tampa Bay against righties, but at some point I'm beating a dead horse, right? And it's not racing, it's not running, like this thing's dead. Because for 2 games now, I've faded the Tampa Bay Rays, one of which I pulled the trigger on. And yesterday, I know I leaned in that direction. I still do like Pablo Lopez on the mound, and minus 130 odds for what I would deem the better pitcher in this spot and the better offense. Pablo Lopez is going to throw a lot of fastballs. Tampa Bay sucks at hitting the fastball. He moves on to the slider. They literally stink out loud at hitting the slider. Like, this is a decent spot for Pablo Lopez to perform. My concern is that for a few games now, dating back, not to game 1 of this series, but game 2 and game 3, it's like, well, we've been waiting for the Twins offense to wake up, right? Yesterday they scored 4 runs. That doesn't get the job done. They lose 9-4. So I'm still going to lean Minnesota, but at some point I got to recognize that, like, we keep leaning Minnesota, and Tampa Bay is just winning at home, right? So I think this one is a split series at the end of it. So I like Minnesota in this spot. It's a low scoring game. I think that's going to favor a better pitcher like Pablo Lopez as well. Though Got to give Taj Bradley his flowers. He's been very, very good at home this season. I just got the Minnesota syndrome or something. But the fact that Pablo Lopez throws fastball, slider, and literally in the last 30 days, Tampa Bay Rays are dead last against those two pitches. I can't look any further than that. Give me Minnesota on the money line. In terms of a total, this is something that I'd probably look at the Nerfy before pulling the trigger on an under or anything like that. But I don't mind a first 5 under, maybe a full game under. 7's damn low, but I think we have two good pitchers on the mound. And obviously the offenses, if Tampa Bay is still in the situation, even though they scored 9 runs like yesterday, still in the situation where I believe they can't hit righties all that well and blah, blah, blah. Then you throw up, Taj Bradley, who's good at home against a Twins team that's struggling a little bit. We should see an under game. 7's a little bit too low for me. I'd either go first 5 under 4.5 if we can get good odds, or the Nerfy, the way that I'd kind of play like the low scoring aspect, All right, guys, real quick, before we do move into the rest of the games here, I want to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. They have a free square right now, and it's for the game that takes place tonight. NFL is back, baby, and they have a Travis Kelce 0.5-yard square. They're also going to give you a deposit bonus up to $1,000 when depositing over there if you use the link in the pinned comment. So make sure to go check out Underdog Fantasy, one of the best player prop apps out there. Just put 2 or more players into a slip, say more or less based on their set projections. The more you get right, the more you get paid out. So if you do know player props very well, these are the types of apps for you. And Underdog right now, with all the discounts and everything they're throwing out there, is the place to do it. Again, that link is in the pinned comment. It's also in the description. You're going to get this Kelce free square, as well as all of the deals and discounts that they're doing for the next week. They have a new deal every single day, and you're going to get up to $1,000 in bonus bets when depositing. So go check it out, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. We're going to be throwing out a ton of Underdog slips throughout the NFL season. All right, next game here. Oakland taking on Seattle, and it went according to plan yesterday, right? We had Seattle money line. They win 16-3. They kind of just scored all game long and then poured it on heavy at the end. So they would have won that game even if they just kept their first 5 scored. I think they had like 5 or 6 runs through the first 5 innings. So good for Seattle there. A good spot for us to back George Kirby, obviously. He goes 6 innings. But realistically, we'll put this over the top, was Seattle's offense showing up, right? Like they had not been scoring, and then all of a sudden 16 runs yesterday. Now, I think that this is still a spot in which Seattle probably wins this game. I don't think I'm as heavy on them. We have Brian Wu on the mound and Joey Estes. I think this is a much lower scoring game today. My main lean is going to be the first 5 under. Now, I know we've kind of put our hand to that flame multiple times, and we've gotten burned. Even if we rolled with that yesterday, we would have gotten burned. But I like the idea of Brian Wu going out there and suppressing this Oakland offense, for starters. And then even Joey Estes has been really good at home, as weird as that might be to say out loud. He's been very good at home, and the Seattle offense still isn't all that tremendous. And both of these teams don't hit the fastball too well, and what do we have here? 2 teams, 2 pitchers that throw a lot of fastballs. So I like low scoring in this game. I don't think Seattle puts up a football score again. So my first lean is going to be the first 5 under. And like I said, I think this is still a Seattle advantage here, especially given the fact that, they lost the first 2 games. I could see them splitting this series. So Seattle on the money line. I don't know if I love the idea of -150 with Brian Wu on the mound. I mean, Brian Wu on the mound, I should say. But overall, it's like I don't think I can fully back the A's. But I think, backing the fact that both of these pitchers could be solid, and we still don't have the best of offenses to combat that, an under could be the play here. And even if, say, we do like the Mariners, maybe an under is the move, because I don't think they score a lot of runs today, but I think they win the game. So that kind of correlates in and of itself. So give me the Mariners as well as the under. First 5 under most likely, but keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we do here, because this is another one where I could convince myself of the Nerfy as well, And FYI, I know this is, not new news to a lot of people, but the Nerfy is no runs in the first inning, or under 1 run in the first inning, or under 0.5 in the first inning, like depending on how your sportsbook calls it. But Nerfy, NRFI, usually means no runs in the first inning on most books. All right, Giants taking on the Diamondbacks here. Now, this game, I've been really high on this Diamondbacks offense and everything like that. In fact, we've cashed their team total over a few nights in a row now, so shout out to the D-backs. The problem here is that things could flip on its head, right? We have Blake Snell on the mound, who started his 2024 campaign kind of shaky, has really turned it into form with obviously a no-hitter in there as well. So the dude has been very, very, very good. So what we look at here, it's kind of like, I've been loving this Diamondbacks offense. I'm almost tempted to roll with it again for a 3rd night in a row. But Blake Snell is Blake Snell, and the dude's phenomenal, and he has really good numbers against the Diamondbacks roster here. So the reason these San Francisco Giants are so heavily favored, it's because of Blake Snell. That's kind of it. 107 plate appearances against the current guys on this Diamondbacks roster, a strikeout rate of nearly 36%. That's crazy. An average against of 160, a batting average against, an expected batting average against, should jump a little bit, right? 190, like that's absurd. A WOBA against of 243, an expected WOBA of 266, and a slugging of just 300. So Blake Snell, in 100 plus plate appearances against these Diamondbacks, has absolutely dealt. So I don't think that they score a lot of runs today. I'm not here to take an under on one of the hottest offenses in baseball or anything like that, but it's not just like a bet it and forget it type spot. Again, we've been just rolling Diamondbacks team total over, and it's been cashing over and over, but today I don't think that is a move. In fact, I'm even on the other side. Like, I like San Francisco money line. Minus 148, minus 145, depending on the best odds you can get, is a little too pricey for me. But why wouldn't you want to back Blake Snell, right? They've won 4 of his last 5 starts. The only one that they didn't win, he pitched 7 innings or something like that, 11 strikeouts, and allowed 0 runs, and the bullpen let up 1 run after he came out. So it's like, he's been absolutely killing it. Back to the Blake Snell that wins the Cy Young, right? So I'm on San Francisco here. I don't mind an under, but it would probably be something that I end up passing on because, again, this is a really good Diamondbacks offense. As much as Blake Snell's killing it, is it the craziest thing in the world to think that this is one of the better offenses that he's seen? He's seen Miami, Seattle, Oakland, Atlanta, and Washington in his last 5 starts. He hasn't been tested like he'll get tested today, but like I said, 100 plus plate appearances against the current guys in this roster, and he's dealt. So I'm still on the Blake Snell side, but there is some caution out there for me to kind of just like blindly go into San Francisco, especially with those odds. So give me the under. I don't think I end up pulling the trigger. If anything, I'm looking at San Francisco on the money line here, avoiding a sweep too, right? Because is this a 3 or 4 game series? I think it's a 3 game series. So Blake Snell on the mound to avoid a sweep. I could convince myself of a money line play here. Keep an eye on the pinned comment. We'll see if we roll with it. It's still pricey, but it's clearly, how many times have I said freaking Blake Snell? This is Blake Snell day, you know what I mean? Actually, before I forget, it's one of, I think you have until Sunday, 1 p.m. games, but it is one of the last days to join the Survivor contest here. Make sure to go check it out, guys. $10 entry. You can enter up to 5 times your shot at, I want to say we're at like 170 now, so nearly $1,700 winner take all just for a $10 entry. You pick one NFL team to win each and every week. If that team wins, you move on, and we do it through the whole season. If they lose, you are out. You didn't survive. But the catch is, if you win, you can't pick the same team again throughout the year. So if you go with Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens tonight, right, and the Chiefs win, great, you move on to week 2, but you cannot take the Chiefs again for the rest of the year. So really, really cool and really, really fun. We'll be talking about it a lot in the NFL videos, but make sure to go join. Again, you only have a few days left. In fact, I'd recommend getting in before this game, especially if you want to be able to use one of these teams. But check it out. That link is in the pinned comment. $10 entry fee. You can enter up to 5 times, so you can kind of have multiple teams going each and every week. But $10 entry fee for one entry. Winner take all. We're up to over $1,500 now for the winner. So very, very excited to see where this goes. Check it out. Link in the pinned comment. Now, let's jump back into these games here. We're looking at Pittsburgh taking on Washington. Not exactly my dream matchup or dream, a series here, I guess, as we start to embark on it. Pittsburgh coming off of a winning series against Chicago, or winning series, but they get stomped yesterday 12-0, right? Today on the mound for Pittsburgh, we're looking at Bailey Falter, not all that great. We have Jake Irvin on the mound for Washington. He's had his ups this year for sure, so I don't want to take too much away from him. But I think I immediately look at an under. Now, I don't think either pitcher is going to be phenomenal here, right? And I'll give you the negative before I give the good. These are 2 pitchers that throw fastballs predominantly, in Washington, number 1 in the last 30 days against fastball, so maybe they'll score some runs, right? But they're not very good against the lefty. And then Bailey Falter, Jake Irvin throws a lot of fastballs. Pitt is right in the middle of the pack there against the fastball. Their biggest pitch they don't hit, though, is a sinker. So now we're starting to shift towards the good news about the under, right? Both of these teams are either in the bottom half or bottom third against the respective hand that the pitcher is throwing. So Pittsburgh against righties last 30 days, 26th in WRC+, 23rd in OPS, 24th in ISO, 23rd in slugging, not very good. You flip over to the Washington side of things, they are 13th when it comes to average against lefties last 30 days, but other than that, WRC plus 25th, 26th on base, 25th OPS, 22nd ISO, 21st slugging. So neither one of these teams neither one of these ball clubs really overall kind of dominating offensively. So I like the idea of an under here. We've seen Washington last few games here, 3-1-6. Okay, give them that. 3 runs scored. Pittsburgh 3-1, 5-5-0. Like, neither one of these teams has been absolutely crushing it. My only concern is the fact that we do have pitching isn't all that phenomenal to start, and then the bullpens for both these teams aren't all that great either, but 8.5 seems a little bit too high. I'm going to lean towards the under. If I had to give a money line play, because this is such a toss-up, I'd probably lean towards the home team in Pittsburgh, but then again, you can make that same argument for Washington. Well, they're plus money, and like I already mentioned, they hit the number 1 pitch of Bailey Falter really well. So maybe you can go Washington for plus money, but I'd need like plus 130 to like the idea of Washington. It's only like plus 100, plus 102 right now. So Pitt and the under is where I'm going to lean here. The under more likely a final play, if anything. I already said I don't really like this matchup. All right, Miami taking on Philadelphia. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment 16, because you made it pretty much in a few seconds. You'll be 16 minutes into the video. Appreciate everyone that does that, and hopefully you guys are appreciating the work that myself, Tassos, and Trey are going to be putting in for the next few months here, because we have baseball, we have football, basketball is going to start, like we got a lot going on, and you know what? We're here for it, and we're excited about it. But comment 16 if you made it this far in the video. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. But let's get to this one. We have the Marlins taking on the Phillies. Adam Oller on the mound, going up against Ranger Suarez. Important to note, this is Ranger Suarez on the road. He's been very, very good on the road this season. He's not like the, Chris Sanchez, right? For the Phillies, who's really good at home, bad on the road. Ranger Suarez has been really good on the road. The problem here is that you're looking at the Phillies any way, shape, or form for massively juiced odds, right? Right now, if you want to get the Phillies, minus 225 on the money line. Even if you wanted to pull trigger on run line at minus 1.5, you're looking at minus 140 odds. So that does not seem all that valuable to me. It is the side that I'm on, but if anything, maybe I look at Philly's first 5 run line, which is minus 140. I just like the idea of them being up by 1 run after 5 innings. Adam Oller versus Ranger Suarez, right? Yes, I could be convinced of their full game run line, but to me, that 1 run could be the difference versus being up by 2. So that's where I'd go if you really want to force a Philly play today. And I'm not saying that I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think that this Phillies offense is coming around. I think that finally we're starting to see the team that I said a while back was, and it wasn't a hot take either, right? Like, a lot of people think this, but the team that I said was the World Series-esque type of a team. They've won 8 of their last 10 games, 4 straight. Like, this Phillies team should be able to go into Miami and take care of business today. So I'm going to lean in that direction. In terms of a total, I'd probably peek at Phillies team total over if you can get it at a decent line here. In fact, we can check it out really quickly. So Phillies team total over 4.5 or minus 135. I was hoping for more in the minus 115 range, but that's where I'd go if we go total. I don't want to depend on Miami to try and contribute to this, and I definitely don't like the under because I think that Oller could get hit up. So I'm going to lean towards, I guess, the full game over, but I'd more likely pull trigger on Phillies team total over because then we don't have to worry about Miami carrying their weight. All right, we got the Braves taking on Colorado. Braves heavy favorites in this one. We have Ronaldo Lopez on the mound going up against Austin Gomber, who I've had some choice words for on the channel this season, and I feel like he's been owed that. The one thing I'll say here is that this Braves team is getting the job done. They have been getting the job done. They've won 6 of their last 10 games, but they're only squeaking by with these Colorado Rockies, like 3-0. I know that's only 3-0, but this is Chris Sale against who pitched that day, like Freeland or someone. So it's like they're kind of squeaking by. Yesterday, 5-2. Charlie Morton against Blaylock, Charlie Morton didn't necessarily go off. So they are winning games here, but minus 285, maybe it's some sort of a parlay that we throw in with the Phillies and sprinkle on that to try and get a decent line for Phillies money line and Braves money line. But to me, it's still, unless Chris Sale, I gave that whole spiel yesterday, unless Chris Sale's on the mound, I'm not blindly thinking that Atlanta wins this game, especially for those odds. I do still think that they win this game, but I'm not going to touch minus 275. And on the run line front, I'm not going to touch that either. It's minus 130 for minus 1.5. You know what I mean? Like, that's still a little bit overpriced for a team that does not have Chris Sale starting, and that I don't know if the offense is fully there or not. So I do lean the Braves. It would be some sort of a money line throw in. In terms of the total, I guess I'll lean towards the under. We haven't seen Colorado's offense show up just yet, and Ronaldo Lopez is a good pitcher. So I guess I have to trust that to some degree, but I'm really curious to see if the Braves offense kind of steps up. So I'll lean under, like I said, but I don't know if that's the final play. Like if anything I touch in this game, it's probably going to be Atlanta and Philly moneyline parlay, something like that. And even that's kind of like a meh to me right now, you know. I'd rather go with what I said, Philly first 5 run line, and then that's what I do in these 2 games if I were to correlate them or connect them. I mean, so yeah, unless it's Chris Sale, this is way too big of a price for Atlanta to me, but I get it if someone wants to throw it into their parlay, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but overall kind of priced out. Texas taking on the Angels, and for 1 second, let's just flash back. 2 days ago, I liked the Angels on the money line against the Dodgers. They ended up losing, 6-1, right? And I felt like an idiot. And then yesterday, I was like, I can't do that again. And then the Angels win 10-1. Like, what the heck? Can you lock in for the game that I said you're going to lock in for? It's crazy. But a 10-1 win, good for them. They're coming off of that. And then Texas coming off of a very good series against the Yankees. They win yesterday 10-6, but they won the last 2 games, and honestly only in game 1 did they get beat, and they still scored 4 runs. So Texas may be playing some ball here. Overall, again, yesterday I think that I gave Eovaldi credit, and then the Yankees still ended up scoring 6 runs. So I liked the over in that game, and that's what came through. We didn't end up betting it, but I liked the Yankees too, to be honest. But overall, you had Eovaldi. He did his job, and they come through with runs for him. Today, it could be a little bit different, right? We have Cody Bradford on the mound going up against Jack Konowich. I still don't know if I'm saying that name right, but Konchowicz. Probably not saying it right. I don't know if I love Cody Bradford, but I don't think it's time to fade Texas after these last couple games. You know what I mean? And they're at home still. They've played 6 straight games at home. This is going to be their 7th. The Dodgers, the Angels have to now fly to Texas to play them after playing in LA. Like, it's probably a Texas spot, but minus 175 is a little bit too pricey for me. Maybe we consider them on the first 5 run line. You can get decent odds for that right now. If you go first 5, and again, the run line in the first 5 would be minus 0.5, and the difference there is that they have to be winning. But you can get minus 110 over on DK right now, and they've hit that in 4 of their last 5 games. So I don't mind that. Again, the money line's probably a little too pricey. I think it's like minus 160, but even still, maybe that's something to be, thoughtful of, even though it's super juiced. You're getting the full game at minus 175, the half game in a sense at minus 160, and Texas is a bad bullpen. So if you do like Texas, if you do want to roll with them, I'd probably consider them in the first 5. But overall, not exactly rearing and ready to go to back Cody Bradford either, even though he's been pretty good. But give me Texas on the money line here. In terms of a total, I think over, just to kind of back what this Texas offense has been doing. And hell, the Angels scored double digits yesterday too, right? All right, San Diego taking on Detroit. We have Martin Perez on the mound going up against Casey Mize. In yesterday's game, San Diego wins 6-5. It was indeed a close one. They've now won 3 straight overall, and then 2 straight against this Detroit team. Casey Mize, I don't love all that much. I think San Diego's offense has proven to be a good offense right now, but this is Detroit against lefties, and Detroit against lefties last 30 days, they've been very, very good. Top 10 in most stats. In fact, top 5 in a few, like WRC Plus, where they ranked 4th, like OPS, where they ranked 5th, like ISO, where they ranked 5th. So a good offense against lefties, and it's Martin Perez who's going to throw a lot of sinkers, a lot of cutters, a lot of changeups. Pitches that Detroit is kind of middling with, nothing that they absolutely crush, but Casey Mize throws like 7 pitches, and it really doesn't matter what you're throwing at San Diego lately. They are going to kind of score on you, but overall, it is worth noting that Perez is a lefty. Detroit kind of hits his pitches well. Like, if you like Detroit in this spot, I don't mind it, but I'm going to back Perez. I'm going to back the Padres offense. Give me them on the money line here. In terms of the total, I'd look at them maybe team total over 4.5 or 3.5 if you can get that for decent odds. You probably can't, but that's probably where I'd go. I could see the Tigers competing here, but it just looks like the Padres, even in a close game like yesterday, right, was that 6-4, 6-5. It looks like the Padres are just the better team. Detroit got off to the races, and then I think they tied it up. San Diego tied it up, and they win in extras. It's like they're just the better team, and at any moment they could score a big number on you right now based on their offense. So give me San Diego as well as the over, but it more likely would be a San Diego Padres team total over overall. But guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that damn like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Appreciate everyone rocking with us, and we have so much content coming your way for free in the NFL season. Very, very excited about it. Catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.